On page 105, I have you repeat the process. And uncheck this box just to see what happens. And the answer is 0.59. It keeps a running total for you, but the answer for not including this is 0.59 metric tons. So it's a very different calculation if we include or don't include this. So you click on this little box. Carbon emissions from planes at high altitude have an increased effect on global warming. I feel like this is something that is a little bit over my head. We're basically factoring in that our emissions have a bigger impact than we would expect. So this may be a more realistic figure than 0.59. And both of these are lower than what we calculated in question 17, where we got 1.682. It's a little tricky to estimate your carbon emissions from a plane. It's kind of all over the place. But we can make estimates and we can make projections, and that's better than not knowing anything at all. I'm going to just show you one other perspective. If we use flights.google.com and look for tickets from Portland to New York, this website actually shows the carbon dioxide emissions for that flight. It's showing the emissions not in metric tons but in kilograms. And the funny thing is that this flight has lower CO2 emissions. And they're both a one-stop flight. I don't know why that is. For the flights selected, what is the total carbon footprint? So we can add these two together and get the total. Oh, I see. This is a round trip. Oh, I forgot. Okay, so Portland to JFK and then JFK back to Portland. That's right. So this is in two different directions, and returning from New York to Portland has a lower carbon footprint than going from Portland to New York. Okay, well, I have no idea why, but again, we can add these two up to get your round trip CO2 emissions, and then we'll convert that 569 kilograms back to metric tons. Use the fact that 1,000 kilograms equals 1 metric ton. That fact went right here. 569 kilograms went here. So cancel kilograms. 569 divided by 1,000 gives me 0.569. That is in the ballpark of this figure. So we have a bunch of different answers to the carbon footprint of a trip to New York City. And finally, what about train travel? If we go back to the carbon footprint website and we click on bus and rail, we can enter the miles traveled. Long distance train, 5,800 miles. Calculate your footprint. Dramatically lower, 0.04 metric tons.